Welcome back, everyone, to Lesser Known Operators. I'm your host, Nicholas Allen, and my guest today is Robert DePrato, a retired Chief Warrant Officer from the 1st Special Forces Group. He is now living down in Texas, in the Austin area, living his best life as a singer and songwriter, cranking out the new tunes, hoping to hit it big soon. I really hope he does. I will have links to his socials in the show description. As always, today's episode is brought to you by the Green Beret owned business Precision Wellness Group and Dr. Taylor Bosley. Precision Wellness Group helps you restore balance, unlock vitality, and fuel your momentum through bioidentical hormone therapy and evidence-based personalized telemedicine. Dr. Taylor Bosley is a board-certified physician, a U.S. Army veteran, and a former Green Beret. So he knows where you've been, where you want to go, and how to get you there. And he's an actual doctor that can prescribe you actual medicine. That's a bonus. So if TRT, HRT, hormone replacement therapy, testosterone replacement therapy, or peptides are something you've been looking into for a while now, or just starting to peek into, look no further than Precision Wellness Group and Dr. Taylor Bosley in Southern Pines, North Carolina, walk-in or telemedicine. Today's episode is also brought to you by Alpha Elite Performance. Get your supplements for the gym. I recommend the pre-workout and creatine at alphaeliteperformance.com. Use code LKO15 at checkout to save 15% on your order. I do appreciate you guys. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, pass these episodes along. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Bob DePrato, welcome back to Lesser Known
What's
Operators.
up, my brother?
Welcome back, man.
Dude, it's great to be back. What did you say? It's episode 101, I think.
Think so. I think I'm right at 100. So I mean, you just watched my thing. These are 50 sheet papers, and I'm on this is my third one now. Definitely with cancellations. Definitely with cancellations, we should be at 100. I think I've recorded at least 95 and probably 100 now, but crazy. So crazy.
I can say real quick, dude, you know, when you first reached out to me a few months, was it 6 months ago? I can't remember. I really didn't think anyone would see the thing. Maybe a couple of our friends or something online, but I didn't think much of it, man. And I didn't really prepare. I went on there. It ended up just being a nice little riff between us talking about stuff and memories coming up. And all of a sudden, I really kind of opened up into a lot of personal matters that I hadn't really addressed. And dude, I felt very indifferent about it when I got done. I was very nervous about it. And, in a weird way, it felt very freeing for me to do that. Obviously, not promoting the mistakes that I've made or others have made, but learning from them. And I think it's, honestly, it's just an honor to be back here and be coming back, man, to be able to share my story and my music. Thank you.
I love that you reached out. You're like, hey, I want to come back. So I think it's cool on that aspect. Like people, they want to come back and talk to me. I think that's even cooler. So, and as you said before, you're like, I don't want to take over your show. I'm like, the show's for my guests. I'd love when people reach out to me and they want to come on. I'm so honored. I'm like, yes. Oh my God. People want to talk to me, make the content. Cause I've said, this is the easiest part of the brand or the show or whatever it is making the episodes, the recording with people and talking. The hard part's all the social media posts and editing things and trying to get everything perfect. I don't want to say perfect because I never get it like really, really good. I got to put stuff out, but now my dog's freaking out here. God, you guys were asleep. I had this all perfect. And then I forgot to fill my water.
I was just saying, I took a break from social media. This is like my comeback in social media, man. I'm going to start kind of posting a little bit again, get to, for the music and for other stuff. But I took a long break because I just felt like I needed a detox, man. I don't know. I don't know what that means exactly, but it was kind of nice to not be trying to like make videos of myself and put them on there. It's just not me. And it just felt really weird. So I was like, let me take a break from this and just not staring at social media and seeing everything that's doomsday every single day was nice for a while, but good Lord, in the last few days, I'm back with a vengeance because there's nothing but death porn on today.
We'll get to that. It's good to hear though, that you said you took a break. Cause I was walking down the stairs earlier. I went, oh man, I haven't seen any of your content. And whenever I realize that, it's usually because Instagram has decided it doesn't need to show me certain people anymore. And I go, so okay, you haven't been on, and that's why I haven't seen you, because I'm scrolling all the time looking to see what everybody's up to without intaking their stuff and trying to. It's a weird thing I do, but I try to go through and like everybody's stuff. But that's good that you took a break. It's not weird, man. That happens. People got to take a step back from it. I'm leaning it into is trying to make a business out of it and a helpful thing for society. Maybe that gives me a little layer, but just consuming it on the daily from the general population side of it, it's not very healthy. Most of the stuff that's going on, especially there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of discourse, and the Instagram algorithm or whatever, it pushes it because people want to see it, and whether they like it or not, people do want to see it and they promote it. So it's not good for you.
Yeah, I know.
But you've
It's a
been
tough
busy.
one, man.
You've been playing some shows, right?
Yeah, yeah. Playing some shows. I got a show down here in Austin I do every week. We got some other shows planned. I've got this veteran, songwriter showcase thing I've been putting together once every couple months, doing about once a quarter right now, where we bring in other, veterans from the military that are, singer-songwriters that play their original music. I'd love to expand it out. I'm starting to get people reaching out to me from, Houston and Dallas and place in other states too. But I mean, I just can't, it's not far along enough yet to, fly people in and to pay for all of that. It's a small level show. I'm going to try to build it. Got all kinds of things coming up. So while we're talking about it, can I just go ahead and plug a few dates?
Yeah, absolutely.
You can come down and see me in Austin every Sunday night at 9:00 at Shakespeare's. I'm a selfless plug, but no, honestly, my friends and everybody that come into town, please at least look me up when you're in town. But for the songwriter show, if you want to do one of those, I'm actually thinking about maybe live streaming it, which would be cool. A lot more people will be able to see what we're doing. But we do them at White Tiger. It's downtown. We've already done a couple of them. The bar owner loves it. We didn't know if it'd work. Like it's like veterans that write songs. Like he's thinking like homeless guys under a bridge writing songs. Something like no. These are real veterans. I'm like, these guys are musicians and talented. I mean, I've met like stand-up comics and other people that want to get on, but I'm like, man, this is a showcase of real veteran artists. And he was shocked at how well it went over. In fact, we kind of packed the place, and even the foot traffic that came in, we're all into it and stuff. So next one we're going to do is White Tiger again in Austin. I'm going to plug these shows if you follow me on Instagram. I know I'm bouncing around, but Thursday, October 23rd, 7 to 10 p.m. All right, that's going to be me, Scotty Fraser, great Houston songwriter. Follow him on Instagram too. Cool dude, Marine, retired, great singer-songwriter. And by the way, I know this is I'm not going to say it's a first group show, but come on. A lot of first group people will know this guy, John McCoyne. Johnny Mac, half of first group knows him. That's a long-time first group guy and a great musician. We all know he used to play the ballad at, like all the balls and stuff. Like everyone that knows Johnny Mac knows he's a great musician. And he's coming down from Nashville area to be a part of that show. Again, October 23rd. We're going to have another one December 26th. I know this is a lot of information. Again, I'm going to be putting out these little flyers and stuff, but December 26th, 7 to 10 p.m. as well. The day after Christmas, I'm doing one. But yeah, these are great, man, and it's given me a lot of purpose, and I really love it. But I'll shut up for a second. What do you got?
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's got to feel good trying to put together some little team again, because when you move, when you get out, it's just the way it is. If you get out and you're isolated, you're just your own man, alone and afraid, out in the world, going, oh man, I need to find something else. And some people never find that team and they just remain a singular entity. But the more guys I've talked to, they come up with these little projects or businesses where they can surround themselves with people again, just like in the team room. And it sounds like that's what you're trying to do. Like, oh, give me some veterans that sing and songwrite. Let's all hang out and drink beers.
Yeah. And man, some of them are stand-up comics. So like, even if you're a veteran, like stand-up, we may not do the singer-songwriter show, but we do another show with comics that I do. And like, there's several of them are veterans. So anyway, we're putting together this thing. It's like a variety show. We already do versions of this, but a new one would be kind of with the veteran angle. And, I mean, you'll be surprised. Some of these comics are on like Kill Tony, for instance. A lot of people have heard of that. We have in Austin, things like that. Very talented, very, accomplished comics. So yeah, I want to put together like ultimately I'd love to have like a little traveling, like veteran, kind of like talent show or whatever, but it does have to be scripted. I noticed like open mic, man, you got to be careful. Like you know what I mean? With no script, like everyone's just saying and doing whatever they want, like over each other. And, it's like, there's got to be some like type of format, but mostly want it to be free flow, just like a podcast like this or something,
Austin with the receptiveness to this, because Austin's different from the rest of Texas.
Fantastic, dude. Yeah. I know. I kind of know what you mean, but at the same time, Austin loves music and Austin loves art, and I haven't really seen any like anti-veteran rhetoric around here. I mean, for real. But I know what you mean,
No, not good or bad. I mean, and there's there's bad parts of town,
just
just like
liberal
anywhere else.
area in the middle of the most like conservative, probably state we have left, right?
Oklahoma's like the most conservative state.
Yeah, okay. But, I mean, it's one of them, right? It's like, it's a little blue dot surrounded by a sea of red. I love that. I love coming into town, getting the barbecue and the culture and the music and the stand up, and then going 30 minutes outside of town and being in, God's country, so I've really enjoyed Texas, man.
Yeah. Has it been just over a year or a little over a year now you've been down there from coming back from Washington?
Yep.
You finally feel like you're kind of settled in?
Yep. Yeah. It's just getting to that point where, like earlier I was walking somewhere in a neighborhood that I'm not even familiar with and I bumped into someone I knew.
Good.
You don't think about that metrics if you've been around the same area for a while. It's like when you start bumping into people that know you, in a new area, like, okay, I actually know people here. I don't, you know what I mean? It made me feel like, wow, I actually know people. Wow.
So how are you feeling with, now that you're farther out? Because 6 months ago we recorded 6-ish months ago we recorded, and now you've been out for like a year. Are you starting to feel that you're relaxing more into civilian life than you were? Because you were a little more uptight last time we spoke.
Yeah, definitely. What's funny is when you're going through it, and you think like, oh, I already went through it, but you're actually still going through it in some cases, right? It's a process. I was like still kind of going through some stuff, right? Like I probably still am, but I feel like I'm in a much better place than I was last time. Not to say I was in a bad place. I was just still going through the process, like I would say, man, I mean, at least in my opinion, I had about like brilliant 18-year career, man. My only dream as a kid, and coming into the Army, my only dream was to be a Green Beret. Achieving that, it was like, well, fuck, I mean, even, and then some of the accomplishments within the Green Beret, I wanted to be good within it, like go to the schools, get the ribbons, get the promotions, but I wanted to be a Green Beret. I was a career Green Beret, I got to accomplish my dream, and I got to do it at a very young age, actually, Nick. Maybe we might argue younger than a man should almost, because they've changed, I think, the requirements where I don't think you can go into the course at like 19, 20 now, can you?
I think you can't. I think it's 21, but I just had a recruiter on. I should know this, but I think it's 21, but it could be way.
Yeah, I thought you might know.
No, that's fine.
Honestly,
I need to keep up on that.
21 right before I turned 21 in language school of the Q course. So, and then I was like, I wanted to go to the SIF, which is, at the time. And then I ended up going straight there. It was like, I got everything I wanted, like right off the bat. But what I realized once I got there was like, that's not the end. That's not the destination. That's the beginning. You chose the beginning of a new path. You know what I mean? You didn't make it. No, you just started a new thing. And I lived the whole life of it, man. But, obviously the last year of my career, I was kind of going through it, man. Like, what's going through it? I don't know. Thank God I didn't, get in trouble or something like that. But, truth be told, I don't know if I was, I didn't know what to do with myself. It got to me. It did. And I med boarded so that I would, kind of pull away. I have so much esteem for this thing. That's why I brought this, talk about those in a little bit, but I don't even know if they give these anymore, but this is the old,
I got them both sitting right here. I got them here. I've been doing a photo shoot right before here. I got them both sitting there. Oh yeah.
3174.
12063 back there.
So it meant so much to me, man. When I was going through shit at the end, it felt like the best thing to do was remove myself from the very thing I loved, which in doing so was simultaneously breaking my heart. You know what I mean?
I do.
And the way
I do.
the way I dealt with it was to literally just implode. And, SEER school survival fucking mode, dude. And I spit out on the other end here, man. I'm doing pretty good. Is the road over? No, fuck no, man. I'm just starting this new journey. This is my new Green Beret. This is my new fucking whatever. It's like, this time I don't know the destination, but I have a good idea of where I want to go, right? Like, it's like land nav. I'm pretty sure I know not to go in that swamp. And I'm pretty sure if I try to walk straight over that mountain, that ain't going to work. Okay, let me find it. Okay, this feels good right in here. I have that azimuth and that feel to the terrain right now. And I'm on a trajectory which I'm very, very, happy and proud of.
You said not get in trouble. Luckily you didn't get in trouble. Do you think, because I've said on the show, and in my one saying that I have in life is that you're only ever one or two decisions away from living in the trailer park. And you can take that as however you want it to. But do you have empathy for people? I mean, some people do. Some people get there by choice. Some people not by choice. But, do you have empathy for other people when you see things happen to guys or they get in trouble or they're going through a hard time? Because I know I was only one decision away from getting kicked out of group at any time if things would have not gone my way, and probably for you as well. What do you think looking on the force as it is now, and when you hear about guys getting in trouble or not getting in trouble and things like that?
I think, of course I have that. Yeah, I do, man. And there's some people that are on that same collision course with life right now, and they're coming in like a comet just burning, and I can't stop that force. I realize when I try to help, for instance, I have the sympathy, but what I realize is you can't like enable at the same time. Like when your good friend is completely fucking up their life, you can't just enable it. Are you a good friend? Like, it gets to a point where you go, no, I have to do something, right? And if you're not going to listen to me, I have to cut you off. Like, there's that point too. And the distance between absolutely just getting all your brothers out and sisters out that are trouble because that's what we do for each other and this and that. And over here where it's like, no, it's time to intervene a little bit, is where we find ourselves. It's where the difficulty lies, because I had friends. I'll tell you, I probably have friends in group that would say they enabled me at times when I was like drinking too much or something. I was a guy that, like, at least I believe I was, great to, it's kind of a tactical type warrant. People wanted me to go, on the training and on the missions and to go overseas, but I never really settled into like garrison life very well, man. I wasn't good having a lot of time on my hands, man, and because of that, I just never processed things. But I guess my point being is, for me, it would be easy for me to go drink too much, and luckily I didn't drive and I didn't really like sleep around. So it didn't really catch up with me. It was just kind of like, okay, he drinks too much, but as I got older, I fucking definitely was like I was starting to become the warrant that was like missing the formations and shit. I was like, should I drive through the gate at 6 a.m.? I'm still half buzzed. That was happening too sometimes, to be frank. I mean, fuck, a lot of guys, do that. But I guess I remember the exact point I was on, but I have a lot of sympathy, and I've had a lot of friends recently go through some really hard times, if I can say that, Nick.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention, they might even listen to this thing. And can I just say, if they do, like, I love you guys, I do. I don't think I can help you sometimes, but I love you. I do. And I am very sympathetic to what they're going through. It's a long process to get this world to slow down after 15, 20 years of running in that life, You don't just slam on the brakes and become a civilian right off the bat.
So now you're settling into civilian life. What's your outlook on how best you can help other people?
Question. I mean, the easy answer right off the top of the head is the music, right? Like, I'm a singer-songwriter in Austin, Texas now. I'm also a Green Beret, but, I've retired the uniform. I want to use my music, and hopefully my platform will get big enough that I can spread a positive and encouraging message. And perhaps we can use things like you have here, Nick, right? A whole community of these things. We got podcasts and musics and people that are traveling and doing a show, this and that. Let's get the message out there, whatever it is. Like, I'm hearing a lot of stuff about stem cells. If it's an addiction problem, I'm hearing a lot of good stuff about ibogaine, right? Like, even Governor Perry just passed some stuff down here. I'll tell you personally, THC works for me. I don't believe your kids should do it. I don't believe you should even do it if you've never done it. But if you're struggling and other stuff isn't working, try a little gummy. I don't know. And if that don't work for you, don't do it, basically. But I was the type that's like, I'm going to try everything I can, man. I did ketamine treatments when I got out. Had some pretty psychedelic experiences in those.
Where's this out of desperation, or you're just like, something has to work, or why are you flipping around so much? No. Which alternative treatments have you done?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I'll tell you this. I've done every like mainstream treatment, and I still do. Insofar as I know it's like very personal. People think if you see like a psychiatrist, you're fucking nuts. I like the one I see now. I mostly just talk about day-to-day matters. Like, we're just kind of like friends that meet up like once a month, dude. Like, it's really not that wild. But I went through inpatient treatment, honestly, to process some of the things, and then later I went through all kinds of EMDR, CPT, there's all these things, basically cognitive, treatments and stimulation treatments, all these things. Along that path, I start meeting different people. I'm doing acupuncture, I'm trying all kinds of weird stuff, sound bowls and yoga and shit. And at some point, you meet people who are like, hey, I'm into mushrooms, or hey, I did this ibogaine treatment, or hey, I did these ketamine things for my trauma, and I did 4 treatments with a certified therapist. We're not talking like you're doing drugs in a hippie shelter. You do it in a controlled environment with a therapist. And with the ketamine, you can go back to places and process them, or maybe sometimes hear what you need to hear. In my instance, I talked to what I felt was God, and I'm not going to share what he said. But
What's the end state? Is it a different end state with each of them, or is it to fix a specific thing that was bothering you?
yeah, okay. That's a good question, dude. Yeah, that's a good question. It might be more particular to like the GWAT era veterans. And this is not to say we're so cool because we went to combat. No, it's just to say that during that time, things were different. I'll tell you a few things that were different. Hey, we were going to combat and losing friends and potentially could die, and stuff like that. You were going to funerals all the time where they're playing the Ballad of the Green Berets, and I got sick of hearing that fucking song. Bagpipes, I hated those for a while. It's like, God damn it, because I always heard them with crying, women and people upset. It got to be traumatizing for me, you know? And by the way, I don't want to throw out the stat, but I think I read the other day, 167, and we lost 167 active duty Green Berets from the time of 9/11 until we left Afghanistan, you know, between there and Syria and Philippines and et cetera. That number might be argued in different ways if you include all the different countries, and I don't know, but it's over 150 Green Berets were killed. Each group, you know, lost over 20 to 30, I'm sure. And you knew some of these people, but you also got to see a lot of people, you know, kind of hurt over there. And by the way, okay, let's take the trauma part out of it. Say that doesn't bother you. You're a badass. It doesn't bother you at all, the trauma stuff. How about a lot of years of being in high gear, right? Whether you like it or not, you're using your parasympathetic nervous system. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be acutely aware, you're in dangerous positions, even training, right? Like I've lost a lot of friends in training, man. Like I've lost more friends in training than in combat. I mean, the training we do is dangerous as fuck. You know, fast roping and jumping and halo jumping and even just night shoots. And, not to bounce around there, but you're not around your family, you know, you lose all your relationships back home. In fact, at some point, you're kind of cutting some of those relationships because it's easier for you to deal with. You know, I used to call my ex-wife and just go, "Hey, how you doing?" And she would try to tell me what's going on at home. I'd go, "Oh, okay, I'll talk to you soon." And I was like, I wasn't being rude, but I didn't know how to shift gears in between very well either, you know? You know, my mom told the story when I saw her recently. Goes, I called her on a sat phone one time because I was thinking of her, you know? I was like, fuck, I haven't talked to my mom in like a year. So I like got up on this hilltop and I called her on a sat phone and she was like, "Do you remember that time you got shot at when you were calling me?" So I go up on the ridge line. I mean, I probably shouldn't do it, but I just went up there to talk to my mom. I get signal up there and yeah, sure enough, fucking troops in contact. So I'm like, "Mom, I got to call you back." You know, I run down the hill, but, you know, not that that's such a tragic story, but I just mean you basically lose a lot of your connections. You know, it's hard to have a routine. It's hard to have the fundamental pillars to what we call a healthy existence, right? Is your relationships and your diet and your sleep hygiene. And, you know, let's say your sexual health, let's say, you know, all of these things. This life will disrupt every bit of that because it's very demanding. And in the years I was there, you traveled a lot. And if you don't believe me, you can ask the old guys. We were traveling in sometimes 11 months out of a 12-month year. I mean, doing IPCs, you know, planning conferences and shit for, you know, an exercise we're going to do in Asia. Like we're launching the, you know, the planning team from Baghdad. They're planning a major exercise while we're, you know, shooting, and then they come back and we're literally planning. Like it doesn't stop. As soon as we go back, we got to keep doing our stuff with our allies out in Indo-PACOM, you know? And so just a very demanding life. And it's hard. I mean, it's just very hard to hold it together for, you know, 20 years. And I got very close and then med boarded, but, you know, but anyway, I don't want to say med boarded like a bad thing, man. I mean, you know, I retired. I did a successful 20-year career. I just realized when I needed a break. And if they could have gave me like a 1-year hiatus, dude, to just go explore myself for a while, I would have done it. And it didn't exist. You know, it was like, you know, CW3, it was like, you're going to the headquarters, dude. You're going to Fort Bragg. Either that or, you know, you're completely out of like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to stay in and also not be in the like potential, you know, promotion bracket. Like if you're going to stay in, you kind of have to do those jobs. And I just had no heart for it, you know, and I didn't feel like I would, you know, be comfortable or fit in doing it, you know.
So the different treatments are trying to bring you back down from all of those different traumas that you've been experiencing over the last 20 years then?
Yeah, I would say so. Because you know, and by the way, I'm not talking recently. I'm talking like last year, you know, like when I first got out, you know, I was like freshly divorced, freshly retired. I like wasn't even like really talking to my special forces guys because like it was all the reminders of it was actually like, you know, like trying to traumatize me. I don't know how to explain that, but it was like I was removed from the life and I didn't know how to remove myself. And I was like trying to, you know, like run away from it, which I'll get to in a minute, but that's not the answer either, and I've recently reconnected with, so many old friends. And I mean, this podcast, for instance, is awesome. I mean, to see Jesus,
Man, just God, the people.
Billy DeLucia, dude, you got the group CSM on this thing, dude. Like, shout out to Billy, by the way. I'm proud of you, brother. We were in the same company together in 2nd Battalion, so.
There's been some people that have fixed some real life problems with each other from coming on here. And that was really cool to hear that some, I'm not going to say, but one of my buddies called me and said, "Hey man, I'm glad you did that issue, because I got a hold of that guy after he came on and we fixed what we had going on." I was like, "That's fucking awesome. That makes me feel pretty good that,
Yeah,
there was some problems and they made up, and that's pretty cool. I think that's pretty cool."
it's very cool.
So no, I love that, man. And yeah, for obviously first group. I don't know why, but big portion of my audience is first group, and
Yeah.
it's really cool. Yes, I mean,
Yeah, but no, you've had a bunch of people on. Like, who was was it Julianne Jackson?
oh yeah, it's the first female RI. Yeah, I got a lot of hate for that. Yeah.
What? Real? That was my favorite episode. I thought she was awesome, man.
She's great.
Like, dude,
I take it very personally when people attack my guests on Instagram, but
Yeah.
you got to just ignore it.
What are they mad about?
That she's a woman. Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah.
Stupid. Let me tell you this, dude. I don't care if some of those people disagree with me. I would have loved to have had strong women involved in the unit. I mean, honestly, the ones like her, they can handle that shit, dude. Like,
there are strong women in the unit,
and they need to be involved. I mean, group men think is not always the best way. Like, how many times do you have a plan, right? And you guys go home to your wives and shit, and you come back the next morning, you're like, "Hey, I was kind of thinking, I kind of changed my perspective a little bit." Like, sometimes having a woman's perspective is I'm going to say it's almost always very valuable, right? Throughout history, emperors have, talked to their wives and stuff. Like, come on. But the idea that chicks can't handle it physically or emotionally or whatever, I disagree. I mean, I don't know the Julianne, but I'll tell you, I'm in love. I think she's great. I don't know what they think about her down there. She seems awesome to me. Dude.
Just people in the comments are losing it, and the older generation especially on Facebook had a huge problem with what. And I had so many people messaging me telling me, "Hey, dude, she's legit. Like, she earned everything she did. She's the real deal." And I was like, "Yeah, I kind of got that because of researching her and going, hey, I think you should come on the show." Because I've researched other people and not reached out to them. I go, I don't think I'm going to hold my opinions. Like, good for you for what you've accomplished, but I'm not going to invite you onto my show and things like that. But she's the real deal. I think she could hang. She didn't make it through SFAS. That happens too. But 75% of the dudes that go to SFAS don't make it either. So
yeah. No. Have any women made it through the whole queue?
Yep.
Or have you heard that on your show? Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Oh, yeah.
I've heard that a couple have. I don't know who they are, obviously, but that's pretty cool. I don't know how it is going to, like, you better, I would imagine as the, command sergeant major or something, you'd really want to make sure you had the right team. It's like, you're the first female on an all male team that's going to be traveling around the world together.
I haven't researched it too much. I know there's been some things. Some guys are up more on it than I do. I'm out, so I draw a hard line. I go, as long as somebody followed regulation, and I don't. Okay, good for them. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
The people that are upset about people accomplishing things, these decisions are made by generals and politicians that you'll never meet, and you'll never even hear who it was actually, who made this. You'll never have a conversation with this person, and you take it out on the person at the lowest level. That is the wrong way to go about things. Like, you're shitting on another soldier and another veteran for doing well in their field. That doesn't help anybody's mental health or anything like that. I get so pissed off about that. People will jump in the comments and go, "This is bullshit. This is DEI. This is woke." I go, "Shut the fuck up. You get on here and you tout, oh, we got a problem with veteran suicide, and then you take the first opportunity to shit on a fucking service member." It pisses me off so much. Um,
Yeah.
and they don't realize the duality of it. So I kind of I stay out of the comments on that stuff as much as I can. But yeah, she was awesome. A lot of my guests, just super great to have conversations with them and hear what they got going on, man. And I love it. I'm having such a fun time, and my network's massive now, and I love it.
Yeah. I love it, dude. Watch the show. It's been fun to watch it grow. That's kind of why I wanted to come back on. I was like, damn, this is real. I better get back on there. I mean, if nothing else than to just like explain the first time. Yeah, it's funny. Like I was just like, oh, we're talking to like, buddies about like what's been going on. I'm like, oh, well, I retired and divorced and lost my mind, and now I'm coming back. But,
No, it's fine, man. It's fine. I mean, people want to come on. There's some apprehension involved in coming on a show. Smaller show, smaller audience. My audience is probably, I know it's 10 to 20 times the size it was last time we spoke. And
yeah,
then you never know who sees I never know who's going to see the stuff on Instagram, because if I make the episode release post with a really good Instagram style picture where people are like I call them thirst trap Instagram photos. If you got a good one, like the one a week and a half ago with Wilbur, Jeremiah Wilbur, that he had the triple tab Special Forces Ranger Sapper. He sent me that picture. I was like, oh man, this is going to be like 100,000 view post. And it was, for sure, because Instagram pushed it.
close up of the tabs.
He just had it in uniform. And I went, man, he sent me 10 pictures, and all 10 or the other 9 were all better than that one. They were just better pictures, better subject and everything. But I went, this one's going to get me 100,000 views. And because that's what people want to see. And so, that's one thing with content and things like that. You got to get people's attention. And that's what I've been refining more with my episode release posts and things like that. So every release, and especially on Instagram and stuff, listening to the full show is one thing. People don't want to sit and listen sometimes, but if you never know who you're going to see on the Instagram, and then, oh, I want to go hear that now that there's a show to back it up. So it's been crazy, interesting. I'm having fun, like I said. And people get to find each other. People find each other in the comment section. They'll find each other from the show. And as I said, people have reached out and fixed real life problems that they've had with people. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, I mean, I had one recently too, man. I hope that person, if he's listening, I love you, man. That's all. But that's all I want to say, because I don't know if he wants me talking about him. So.
No, don't worry about it, man. Everybody's
life happens, bro. Everyone goes through it.
Does happen, and everybody deals with it differently. The show has given me a lot of perspective on what other people are going through at any given time, and I try and see all the different sides of the story now, and just say, I hope the best for that person. They're probably going through something terrible, and I really hope they figure it out and get themselves together. And I can only work on me. So, but you said going through all those hard times and deployments and back and forth and traveling and all that, man, how do you deal with today? Because if we're listening, this episode will come out in 3 weeks, but it'll be about October 1st or so. But today's September 11th, and you spent your entire career in the global war on terror. So how do you deal with today?
It's weird because was a righteous cause, meant with the right intent. I will say, at least by the military people and people like me, serving over there. I don't, arguing the politics of it above that. It's not my business. I don't really know that shit, but it probably went on for too long, man, And the truth is, we don't know when that cutoff should have been. And even when it did end in 2020, when they pulled the plug, I mean, even that didn't feel right, huh? It didn't seem right. It was like, oh, this ain't the way this was supposed to happen. I mean, right? But it's better than it going on for 30 more years or something. And the truth is, right now we're at this very tumultuous time where, in 2001, it made more sense globally to be able to send all of these resources and military and stuff over there, to the Middle East. Now you start to wonder, like, okay, well, where is the war and what does war mean? And I'm kind of jumping around here, but like, for instance, we all know about the Department of War. I was like, I was kind of surprised. I thought it was like a joke, honestly. It really looked like a joke, like a meme or something. And I'm like, haha, yeah, whatever, And then I was like, no, they're doing this shit. Holy God, like, wow. And I even posted a thing. I'm like, I don't think this is a good look for my country. I kind of like I think so basically your defense department, if people don't know, is a giant umbrella of apparatus. Like, it's not just your military people. It's these, agencies, these intelligence agencies. It's people who control satellites, people who control special technology. It's a vast apparatus. It includes your research and development, your defense contracts, it's a huge thing. And it was weird to me, like, oh, they're going to call the whole thing war. Even just diplomatically, I think, like, oh, you're going to meet another country. Like, you're meeting a dignitary and it's like, hey, I'm with the war people, I'm with the War Department or whatever. It just feels weird to me, but it wasn't political. I just thought that was interesting after 20 years of, Department of Defense. And not clearly, I still get a paycheck from, the defense finance accounting system. Such a drastic change that doesn't seem to better the position in my eyes. If I was playing chess, I would say calling everything war and then using one of my, top officials and calling them the Secretary of War. The wording of that is going to make it weird. For instance, when I use these formerly DoD assets for other means, does that mean I'm doing war? Am I declaring war on things unintentionally? Why are we calling it that? But it's just something I thought was like worth a debate, because the word means something, and it means something then different than what we might do on a readiness exercise in the Pacific or something, right? Or a military aid project in Papua New Guinea or something. Is that the War Department, or is that the So I don't know. But again, politics aside, what is war and what's going on across the world, and where would the War Department best be employed? Is the question.
I mean, some of those J sets that we went on and some of those rotations were to tell people to stop doing what they're doing. Sending a special forces company to Korea while North Korea is being rowdy and causing problems sends a message. Sending people to the Philippines when things are rowdy there sends a message. Maybe we didn't actually change anything. We're just posturing. Maybe we're saying something without doing anything. We're just changing words, and people read into that because from your intelligence side of things that there's things happening that are moves to moves that are moves to fake moves and things like that. So
yeah,
maybe we're trying to seem like we have a better posture, or to give off the impression that we mean business or seem something like that,
well, sure.
because
No, yeah, I understand its influence on global politics, foreign policy. The relationship between like you've heard of dime fill and those things. Not to nerd out, but diplomacy mixed with intelligence and military and economic sanctions, and I mean, that's how they govern. But also at the same, yeah, I'm with you. That's why almost more so, it's like an apparatus that big, a thing that large. You hate to call it war, because we all put that terminology with violence on people. You know what I mean? And I'm right. And that's probably the point. I got you. Like, I understand that's the point, is to send a message, right? Like, I know, but
I don't know. Department of Defense seems whatever. Okay, that's working. Department of War does sound cooler, or the War Department. That sounds better than. But what I mean,
sounds cool.
also, what would define that, right? What is war? If an all-out war at the top level now kills everybody on the planet, everybody, full stop. There's 12,500 nuclear warheads in the world, and we only need about 10% of that to wipe out all of the life on the face of the earth. Well, all of us anyway, human extinction, and we could do it 10 times over. So, what is that? What are we fighting for? We're just getting better at killing each other. That's what we've done our entire existence of our species, is kill one another. Hey, I don't like you over there, I'm going to wipe you out. And hopefully we're not working towards that, because then there's going to be nobody left around. Or maybe we are. Maybe that's the grand plan, is just that people want to wipe things away with what we have here for no reason, just because we can't get along. Yeah.
Well, if you
The
want to know about
Department
an
of War.
organization, you look at, I mean, the first two things you look at is like, what's it called? Like, what is this organization? I don't know. What's it called? The Department of War. Like, okay, yeah, that's a thing that kills things. Got it. And if I'm a diplomat, I'm probably like, why am I talking to the war people? But anyways, let's put that aside. It's like, okay, War Department. Okay, then what's its mission statement, basically? It's like, how do you write a mission statement for Department of War? It's like to do war on the world. Like, what? I mean,
Yeah.
it's just weird to me. I'm sorry. The words mean things to me. It's
Oh,
like a
absolutely.
nitpicky
But you know as well as I do, the United States government is only good at one thing, and that's killing people, whether they're foreign or domestic. They're only good at killing people. Uh, the United States military, very good at killing people when we deploy and to combat and other things. Very good at getting soldiers to commit suicide and kill themselves as well. And whether that's through poor care, poor treatment, bad leadership, and whatever, the only thing the United States government does really well is kill people. That's it. That's the only thing. So whether we're waging war foreign or domestic, that's the only thing we're good at. So I guess it's a good moniker. Um, doesn't change much. There is a war that's gonna start up, and we're gonna get involved, or we're gonna proxy war like we are in Ukraine right now, and get other people killed, killing other people. See, we're getting other people killed by support that, and fighting off some sort of gloom and doom that we see. But I think it's the only thing we're good at. Do I think it's the best look? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know. Probably not. Or it's just Trump fucking with people. He could just be. It's like, I just want to call the War Department. Fuck them.
I'll put it this way, man. If I'm being honest, if I went back to 2006, 2007, and we were at war all the time, and they changed it to Department of War and had all this propaganda, it would have amped me up, dude. I'd have been like, yeah, but you get older and you realize, like, I mean, you don't have to get older. You just have to live life and realize, like, these things are all temporary. You know what I mean? When you change the name of something, if it's just a propaganda pitch, okay. But, like, what good does it do, I guess? I mean, to me, if it's not real, then what good does it do? If it's real, is this going to be a long-term solution, I guess? Like, does the next president just change it right back? And do we go into a thing of we're just changing the names of departments constantly every time we get a new executive authority? It's like, I don't know. It's weird to me, man. It's something worth at least, a friendly, healthy debate. Or, you can't do it online. I mean, geez, dude,
Nope.
I made the worst mistake in the world by commenting on one of these things. And dude, the amount of people telling me to, whether they're bots or not, I don't even know, but the amount of people telling me to leave the country and shit, I'm like, what? Because I don't like the Secretary of War. I just don't like the word. I mean, I don't know.
People they don't understand. Yeah, you can't get in the comments, man. Nothing can be solved in the comment section.
Nothing good comes in that thing.
Because, man, that's not a healthy spot. I, oh, that the things change when the new commander comes in. Policies change, different views, and what was okay before is not okay now. And God, man, I mean, how often did you change the long range training calendar? Like literally, how many
Fuck,
times?
that was my fucking job, was just to change the long range training calendar every day. I mean, I got sick of that thing. And it got to the point where there was 5 of them. I'm like, why is there 5? Why, let's just keep using, because people were grabbing them and saving their own shit and going off of that, dude. I was like, I hate the long, sorry, you triggered me. I hate the long range training calendar. Now that I'm out, if somebody has me do a long range training calendar, I quit.
Some people
Yeah,
it's
it's not accurate
storyboards.
because yeah, it's not accurate. You're right, because no one wants to just do the fucking mission that I gave them, dude. Like, it's second quarter. Well, we want to do it third quarter. It's like, well, the fucking Filipinos don't want to do it third quarter, and so it's stuff like that is what we dealt with all the time, obviously, man. But I know
And
the
that's
teams are like,
that's down at
chief
the
sucks.
lowest level. That's
Yeah,
down at the lowest
yeah.
level of a unit. And now you've got the government and like, let's just change some shit around. Like, okay, well, whatever. Shit'll change. It'll change
It
back.
has
Whatever.
implications. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I guess I shouldn't ponder into the implications. But I'm like, but they're there, and I'm like a former DoD employee. I mean, I'm actually retired, from the Department of Army, right? But I mean, that's under the DoD, so it's the same thing. I'm technically a Department of War fucking, retiree. Like, it's a pension. It's weird to me. I don't know.
All right. So
I don't care
you've
about
got to
the
be,
politics.
I mean, you're not a commissioned officer, but you're a warrant officer. So you've got to be, let's see, 330 million people in the United States. You've got to be somewhere around 1 millionth in line to take over the presidency. If there's a million people, if all million and people in front of you get schwacked, it's going to be President DePrato. So what are you gonna have it keep it the War Department, or what are you going to call it? Go back to defense.
No, yeah, just go back. Just go back. In general, all this stuff, just go back. Slow down. I mean, I would be that way everywhere I went. I would be like, nope, slow down. Everyone that ran at me with a new idea, I'd be like, nope, take a breath. I feel like right now we're in this very hyper, almost like ADHD like environment where we're constantly chasing new things and new ideas and wanting to market, and everybody's got a podcast, right? Like, and I mean, literally, like, we're on one
Terrible.
right now,
The
right?
worst. Those people on the podcast, they're the
No
worst. The
one's
guys who run
being
those
a
shows.
human, dude. We're all just pushing an agenda or marketing or doing something, you know. I think that the humanity is being stripped from it, in some way, or at least the human, like, compassion and human interaction. And you're like, how do these like tie together? Well, it does. It's, Department of War, when it covers all of the apparatus that defend us at home, which includes your fucking satellites and your drones and your, those little contractors that are, I mean, even the little ones, like, the GS-12, that nice lady that is the secretary at the local base or whatever. Um, they're not all instruments of war per se. I don't think that's I don't think it's a wise choice of branding. I think America is bigger than that. I think we're big enough to like be the bigger person in the room a little bit, And trust me, I get posturing and all that. I mean, I just think the word, changing the word. I don't know. They're going to say, well, it changed before. Yeah, they had a Department of War when that's what it did. It was only in the case of war. We didn't have defense contracts that were, hundreds of billions of dollars and stuff. We weren't involved in global affairs the way we are now. Like, you cannot compare the two, basically, right? I don't know. It's like, and if the apparatus is only for war, then what does that mean? Do you only use it during a time of war? Well, I mean, when's the last time we were at war? World War II. So do we relegate this very important thing that's like 15% of our budget to uselessness because it can't be used in diplomacy or leverage in these other things because it's war and it's out there on the other edge of the frontier, right, of governance and, for instance, diplomacy and foreign policy. Just my 2 cents. Someone's going to say, you're a pussy. Like, we need more tattoos and more fucking war, like, okay. I've been there. I mean, if the person telling me that's been there, then good on you, brother or sister. But if you haven't been there and you haven't seen the war and the extreme violence and what it looks like I really don't want to hear your opinion on it that much. I at least don't want you to correct me because, the higher tensions are and the more we keep doing these little things that seem irrelevant, it's the type of things you study later. You go, oh man, that didn't start the Civil War, but wow, it surely made an effect. It caused a ripple, right? Things like that. You study those in college. I was a history major. It's it almost feels like some of these things are trigger points to some significant changes that we're going to experience, Nick. Not because you or I agree with it, or actually whether or not you like it or agree with it at all. If there's any sort of mania throughout this country where there's widespread violence like that, and it starts getting more tensions, and the political parties are fanning the flames and all this stuff, it's going to go in that direction, and it's hard to stop that train, as we know. Once it gets to a full gap state where there's basically civil war and complete unrest, you would have to declare war on your own country to take it back over, and I hope that's not what somebody's fucking thinking, but I mean, or is it a conclusion I'm jumping to? It's just if it got that bad, you would need they're talking about it right now. The police can't handle, right? Isn't that what, they said, the police can't handle what's going on. So we have to use the National Guards. Well, you and I know, I'm sorry to say, the National Guard's not that effective, especially, if you could actually use some special ops guys or something, damn, you know what I mean? We'd do a way better job. Sorry.
A nation has never recovered from firing on its own citizens ever in the history of nations. But all right, how about this? So at one point in your career, you're like, I can't wait to deploy, right? And that's to go back to combat. Everybody that's come on here that come back to garrison, they go, this fucking sucks. And they go, I want to, because it's easy. You know what your mission is. You know what you got to do. You're with the boys. You're doing the thing, right? So at one point in your career, you go from, I can't wait to deploy, back over there and get back in it, to, man, I don't want that ever again for anybody. That's terrible. When did that switch in your mind happen as you evolved and got older?
If I can answer it honestly, I don't think it did quite to that level, but I love the question, and I'm going to address it. I think there is a place for it, unfortunately. I also think that well, let me just break it down really simply. I have seen evil. I have seen what I believe is evil. And if evil exists, then I have to imagine that something the opposite exists. And then in my head, I imagine a clash between these things that are, happening. It's easy for me to simplify this without going into, global foreign policy and all these other matters, ethnic and racial violence and all of these things. These are all very real. They're all the strings that are pulling us toward this, but there's also just a bit of good and evil. And therefore, I think evil's going to always have, their warriors. The people that represent their movement in all the different ways that they can, which will include, maybe really sadly and tragically, someone thinking that, shooting an innocent man through the throat in front of his family and a bunch of people is even an option, even a viable solution to anything that could have been going on there, for instance. And I wish to say I didn't know the Charlie Kirk guy at all. I just was horrified to see that. I mean, by the way, I knew it was a 30-06, dude. I knew it was bolt action. I knew it was that 30-06 has a unique sound, bro. If you heard that sound, pow, dude, the way it rang out there, someone was like 223. I go, fuck no. 30-06 is a very deadly weapon for a large mammal within, 500 yards. That's what it's designed for. So whoever that person was that did it, that's evil to me. Sorry, it is. And that's not political whatsoever. I didn't know that guy or follow his show. No one deserves that. But as long as that exists, I guarantee you at certain points, when these friction points hit that matter, you're going to want, not just me, not just Nick, everybody listening to this, you're going to want some of your own bad motherfuckers. I know that exists, and they better be trained and ready already, because once you need them, it's too late to build them. You know, so I think that's why I did a whole career in it. I think there's a very good reason. I didn't really think of what I was doing as, killing or swacking people downrange. I mean, I didn't look at it that way. I mean, I only shot in any of the units I was in. I don't remember ever shooting at anybody that didn't shoot at us first, to be honest. I never had a mission where it was like, hey, just go fucking kill some people when you see them. I've never heard of that. Other people I've kind of heard in this podcast hemisphere have some very drastic stories. I mean, and there's been some serious gunfights in Afghanistan, right? I've been in a couple, I'll be honest. So others have been through probably way more. How about that? But without going down that route at all, like, glorifying any of these things, man, is really the problem. And sorry, what was my point, Nick? Help me out, dude. I kind of went down a rabbit hole. What were we talking about at first?
Your view now is, you just want.
Exactly. Sorry. The view hasn't changed that we don't need it at all. Yet my view after experiencing extreme violence and seeing, don't think about what folks in Iraq and Afghanistan, these places I went to, and Philippines, and all these things. Don't think about what they did to U.S. soldiers. That's not what we're talking about. You should see what they would do to each other in some of these, drastic situations. It gets to the point where people aren't even, they'll blow up each other's kids and just place bombs in the road and indiscriminate fire into crowds. And, so having gone down that route, I would like to be at least, coming back to retire, trying to learn how to just live as a civilian and, songwriter and singer and have a nice life and, retired life back in America. I just want to kind of say hey, I've been down there, guys. Change course. Don't be on a one-way ticket to that. You don't want that shit. No one wants that in their country. Nor am I saying that's happening. I just mean that especially the rhetoric, and the violence that I see right now, man, it feels like we should tone down some of this rhetoric, divisiveness, this glorification of violence. I'm being honest, and killing. Most of the good dudes, that I knew that did this stuff, the guys that probably had the most kills, I never heard them brag about it. I never heard them really say, talk glorifying about it. Or I just mean, those are the real tough guys. And the reason I'm talking about it is because of what you're saying. There's a culture of it that I'm not saying, hey, we don't need anybody or there's no need for violence ever. Because that's not realistic, unfortunately. But can we not still try to pursue, some level of hey, remember how we used to somewhat meet in the middle? Once it gets to emotional think and the violent tensions have already, flared, it gets very hard to come back to that negotiating table, right? And I just feel like as a country, we could really do with slowing down some of the rhetoric, that kind of answers the question, but I'm not I just wanted to say yeah, I'm not some person that's oh no, yeah, there shouldn't be military, there shouldn't be war. I just think the words mean things. It's I just literally just the logic of the Secretary of War or whatever, War Department. It just sounds I don't know, man. It's weird to me.
No, I completely get it, man. And as you said, there's going to be situations that are going to arise, and you got to have people ready to go do bad things to bad people wherever in the world. And the baddest people I know are the nicest people that I know also. And here's I equate it to the civilian side of things. The biggest, strongest people in the gym are the nicest people to go up and talk to in the gym, and nobody will go do it because there's I don't want to bother them. I don't want to ask them. Go walk. If you want to know how to do something, lift. Go walk up to the biggest, strongest person in there. They will be thrilled as long as they're not in a set. And then don't bother them when they're underweight and stuff like that. But hey, man, I love what you're doing. Can you show me how to do that? Absolutely. And the same thing with, these guys, some stuff gets overblown. People want attention and they get addicted to the limelight and the spotlight being on them. That happens too, and things get out of control. But the baddest dudes that there are out there, and guys and gals, they're just nice people, and they'll just they'll just tell you how it is and be friends with them and help you out when you need help. But sometimes life gets the better of people and trauma and things like that, and things kind of get skewed, and that's what you're talking about. Sometimes
I've seen
I
it.
think I think the part that you're talking about is not as much as we think. It's just that the small portion of our community is so overblown and so much attention that it makes it seem like there's a lot like that. Most people, most veterans are quiet about their service and go on about their lives and things like that and just chill out. Well, and they don't want to speak up and be proud. That's one of my big thing. They don't want to be proud because they're afraid if they stick their head up, they're going to get hammered
Yes.
for being proud of what they did or what they accomplished. And I'm like, yeah, God, can't worry about people hating on you, dude. But I get it too. And like we get into the veteran issues when it comes to mental um, health and suicide. That stuff really matters, man. And people kind of just want to shy away from what happened to them, and that's not healthy too, because you don't talk through any of this stuff, so you keep it all inside because you don't want people to make you feel bad about this or that, and not talking through it, that's not healthy either. And it's a big sad downward spiral of the river, as you said.
You can't run from it. I mean, it's no different than just like the Lion King. Like, you can't run from your past, man. I've tried. It's like, even just recently, man, I got invited to someone passed. I'll just do them the, honor of not like mentioning who it is, but he was in the group, in the guard, sorry. And we have some guard guys around here. I've started to meet some of them and get tied in, now I'm meeting old first group guys that have retired in Texas, et cetera, et cetera. But I was out there at the thing, man, and yeah, I bumped into a bunch of old first group guys and a bunch of old guys. We were telling old stories and sharing names of, people we came up around, and it was just really nice to, I'll tell you, I drank too many of those IPAs or whatever, and my stomach was fucked up for 2 days.
Disgusting. Oh, disgusting.
Disgusting. I used to love those, dude, years ago. I can't drink them now. I mean, I was having fun that night, because I was buzzed, but dude, I was sick for 2 days. I don't know what's in those fucking things, dude, but
Piss.
I'm
They're full
allergic
of
to it.
piss and alcohol. It's just
But dude, I had a blast and reconnected with some old guys, and we're probably gonna do some music and a few things out in San Antonio. More to follow on that for whoever's listening, because I know we probably have some first group guys listening to this, dude. Like even the retired guys that live out here, I know some definitely listen to this. So, dude, yeah, it was really a blessing to reconnect. I needed a little time from it, strangely, and then also I needed to come back and reconnect. And this podcast, along with other relationships, and even just me calling some old friends, dude. We had trouble with an old teammate, man. It brought some of us together. We started calling each other, like, dude, I was like, you know what, man, we can't really maybe help this one, but dude, we should stay in touch more, right? Like, our health and our friendship is it's fragile. It doesn't last. And, things can change quickly.
yeah, yeah. You never know when your time's going to be up. You had put in the message, you wanted to talk about first group and the regiment as a whole. What did you mean by that?
But was that in your text message to you?
I think it was in the sign up for the episode.
Oh, yeah. I think I just threw some stuff in there. But let me think here. Well, we'll talk about the things I can talk about, like, for sure. Like, you were talking about like the J sets, I'll tell you this, for the guys listening, cause some people are not military. Now we'll go into military talk. We cannibalized that J set program, and we fucked up when we did that. We fucked up by using it improperly for many years. That was designed for us, Nick, for us to get our training, to go work with our partner forces. Yes, it's a great tool for building that relationship, of course, and to even sometimes use that relationship to leverage things. But even as I was getting out, I knew they were fucking up. When you go to all these, rotational exercises, you're bogging down, like you said, a whole company in, 2 or 3 A's in some place. I mean, in many cases, you don't have the ammo to train there for 6 months. In many cases, the partner force is kind of like, I mean, why are you here for 6 straight months? Just imagine if someone came and lived with you for 6 straight months. I mean, it's one thing when we come to do a barbecue for the weekend, but it's a little different when I move in for 3 weeks. You know what I mean? And the funding and authorities on those are very limited as well. In fact, you have to bend rules to train with your partner force. I know guys are getting it done. That's what we always do. But the status of those, I'm not a huge fan. I think we were doing great with the JSET program. I think making we had a 4 to 6 week program. We used to go there and build relations and train together. We had ammo and all the material we needed to train. And then we got the heck out of there. Why go back to the model of being in one place for 6, 7, 8 months? It's a drowning maneuver on your force. We saw it during the GWAT years. What you're going to do is you're going to wear everybody the fuck out. And the truth is, in many cases, the mission or what we're the goal, what we're trying to get out of this can be accomplished through far simpler means. And people will disagree. I don't care. But yeah, I don't like that. The idea of having the guys stuck on these, these rotational exercises with their AOB command right next door, telling them basically with oversight of everything they're doing for 6 straight months, man. I just think it's too much idle hands, too much time for idle time on those. And trust me, as someone that deployed a lot, it's like, if you can get the job done in 6 weeks, that's a win. Your partner force might appreciate it as well, honestly. I kind of bounced around there though, but yeah, the JSETs were a money maker for first group. That was when I was growing up there, that's what we used to train. And I don't just mean other people. I mean us. We were training us for our readiness and for our combat readiness, dude. So, that, and I don't care. I think I know. Okay, all right. With all due respect to Billy DeLucia, who's going to know way better than me, right? What I hear is that Manning is not doing as well. Go figure, right? The CSM's job is Manning, and the ground guys are saying the retention rates and stuff are not as good as maybe the leaders would be leading on to. I want to handle it delicately because I was never really involved in Manning as a warrant and shit, but it's obviously what literally makes an organization what it is. And from what I hear, there's all kinds of creative ways they're trying to get around basically just not having full teams. Including the 4th Battalion's going away again.
So, yes, I think I have gotten information from Billy. I've gotten information from the teams. I've got information from battalion and companies and things like that. I will say that I think there is an interpretation disconnect at all levels, just like there's always been. You're only going to see things from your perspective because you're in that perspective, and you have to deal with what you have. The team has to deal with what the team has. The company has to deal with the company. Battalion has to deal with what they have, and group has to make do with the whole thing. We're in a changeover period. Group is going to get smaller. I don't want to say the mission, but the op tempo and the way we do things, with new guys coming in and guys retiring from being in the entire global war on terror, going out. They're going to be less and less. We're going to go back to the 90s. Somehow we're going to get back to how things were, and it's going to either level out or something new will pop off and we'll adjust to that. And group will either get bigger or smaller. Soft can't be mass produced. That's bullshit. Yes, they can. They'll figure out how to do it. When I was going through the course, I think we were graduating 8 graduating classes a year or something like that, and they're at 4 now. So that wasn't that long ago that they were having 8 a year. So I think optimistically, I think that this is just a plan to shrink special forces back down to what it was and to get it optimized to the right size. Maybe that's too optimistic for me, or for of point of view. Maybe people are messing it up, but I like to have faith that people aren't just coming up with plans to make life shittier on people. But also, I know that does happen. It is the military. That's the military is good at making people's lives miserable.
Yeah, right. No, I guess just in general, like just generally speaking, I think it's just what you said. I mean, it's getting downsized. I don't think it's getting right sized. I think it's going to go down below what is right. And by the way, right was not necessarily what it was at its height of the GWAT, where we made a lot of Green Berets. But I have a feeling that they're going to shrink it too much, and they're going to change its purpose and its culture to an extent that we will not recognize it any longer. And if I sound like I'm being doomsday, it's like, no, that's what we do, man. When we brought some of the Vietnam guys out and showed them the shit we were doing, I mean, even 10 years ago, like we didn't really, but they were like, see, I don't even recognize it. Like this doesn't even look like what a range used to look like, The technologies and training you guys have don't even look familiar to me. Like, it's just what happens. The thing evolves. So it shrunk, just like the whole military did in the 90s, but guess what? And on the 24th anniversary, it's fitting. After September 11th, that changed everything. You know what I mean? We wanted as few boots on the ground as possible, but as many well-trained, disciplined soldiers that could be force multipliers or surgical strike units to take out, key members, HVIs and HVTs, or be it to stand up these partner forces that we did and work with them, be it the the ANA commandos or any one of the the Iraqi National Guard, Iraqi Army units we worked with. I worked with the ICTF over there. Iraqi counterterrorism force. It was supposed to be like their, Delta Force guys, basically. And so the CRIF guys would invite them. Invite them. I don't know. And those guys were great. I built some great relationships over there. And really the same like in many countries all over the world. But that's more of a building partner capacity and being a force multiplier. But I mean, we had the other stuff too. And basically SOCOM became its own little army, right? It became almost its own new branch in some ways. They got new authorities and new fundings, and, we were setting up these SOTFs and CJIS SOTFs and SJITFs and shit all over the world. General officer billets, it was probably too big. It was unmanageable. You know what I mean? It became about creating command posts all over the world. I mean, basically, and we're not talking small like 04s. I mean, no, like 06, like, I say, we're just making up new terms that weren't in doctrine, man. CJIS SOTF, I mean, changing the names of shit we already knew to new things and changing it to a 1-star billet or a 2-star billet. And, it got too big. But the question is, where's it going to go next? And it's definitely getting smaller, and it's definitely going to change in its general nature and purpose, and its technology too. Like I think it's going to become much more technological.
Do you care where it's going? And if you do, why do you care?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say because I told you I wanted nothing more than to be a Green Beret. And I like to think about that for a second. If I look where I really wanted to make sure this answer is good. Why do I care? I'm out of it. I get my little pension check or whatever, and my VA benefits, like either way, right? Um, I care, man. Like this was the most important thing I ever did. You know what I mean? This is my proudest accomplishment to this day. Um, I care about the heritage. I care about documenting its history. I care about seeing where it's going, where it's come from. I care about the culture. In my case, Nick, not to change it. I'm actually not saying, oh, we must go back to what we were doing 20 years ago. No, I'm saying I like to be aware. I like to see where it's going and how they're thinking. And in some cases, it's moving so fast, just like many things are in this day and age with the technology. And as you said earlier, the access to information that we have is just it's never been anything like this ever. And the more so we are ingrained in that culture, it develops a whole new momentum to the point where if you're not completely updated every 5 years, you're completely out of date. The things they're developing right now, a Green Beret team 15 years ago would not know how to deal with, period. You know? And so I care. Yeah, I care to see where it goes, and I care about the wellness of it. I also don't think smaller or fewer people necessarily means that it's going to be bad or whatever. Right? I don't think it's a negative thing. I think your younger Green Berets, on top of being in shape and stuff like you used to see before, are going to have to be much more witty in the technological space and in the information space. I think if you want to influence, for instance, what are we supposed to do? Resistance movements, right? And to some capacity or other, we could say we work with the guerrillas, but I mean, in reality, if you're working in that capacity, you're going to be with the resistance force leaders. You're going to be meeting with, people that are putting out propaganda, with people that are in your auxiliary that are supporting. You're going to be meeting with all of these things, and it's going to have to work cohesively if you were to try to use that. So if that's what special forces does, they're going to have to get much better at their use of technology to leverage those things. And I know we do, but I just mean it's going to go more so. That was just not a thing, when I came in. I mean, we had two computers in the room. One was a red, one was a green. And I think like the first time I heard someone say like, hey, do your cyber awareness or whatever, I was like, what's that? Like it's probably like '07 or something. I'd been in a few years. I'm like, what?
What
But
the fuck is that?
yeah, I know. But now it's right. Like you could, I mean, even when I was getting out a few years ago, like you're not allowed to go TDY without a computer so you can do all your stuff. I mean, and a red and a green, by the way, you need to be able to check zipper and and then you need to be able to do your NCOERs or whatever, your awards on green, all your little emails and all that shit. So that's not that big of a deal. But I mean, once we're packing an SDN light everywhere we go, right? Once we're packing heavy and we need 12 pallets to move around, it's like that's not an ODA anymore either, right? So I'm kind of bouncing around in just insofar as like we're going to become more reliant on technology. We're going to need people that know how to leverage that stuff very well. And then at the same time, they're going to have to figure out how to keep it small and light and reduce footprint and stay out of trouble in that space,
Yeah. Well, if the whole life was a big part of your life for almost 20 years, and now you got to keep up on it. I find, it's over and you're detached from it. I also have, I don't know if it's a tough time getting away from it. I think it's just, I'm going to figure out a way to continue doing that on the civilian side. With what I'm doing, I'm staying more connected. Like, it's like, I question myself, like, Nick, why do you care? Well, I do care. I care if the guys are okay. My buddies are still in. They're all still in my
Yeah, you
peer
want to
group.
understand what they're doing a little bit, right? It's like,
Yeah, I mean, I want to feel like I'm still part of the team. Like I'm physically ready. I could still do the job. I couldn't jump or get hit in the head, but I could still figure it out. Um, and perform. I can walk into the company, any company
hey,
in special forces, and I'd still be one of the strongest people in the company. So at
yeah,
least I got that going for me, which is nice.
you're almost too
But
fucking big now, honestly.
I can, I can still run, man. I could still
You're like
run.
me. big, so I was like, if I'm gonna be big, I'm gonna be strong. But yeah,
Yeah, I'm
uh,
5'11", 240 pounds. So I'm a moose. But I do cardio 3 days a week, man. I do more cardio than I do lifting. I have to do so much cardio to keep up with the strength because I it I don't know if I'm keeping my weight down, but I'm definitely keeping my endurance up because there's no reason to be this big if you can't apply it. So
can't move. Yeah,
I can move. I can definitely move. I'm training for a mile. I want to run a 5 minute mile again and bench 400 and squat 500 and deadlift 600. So
them serious numbers, dude. What are you running a
that's,
mile in now? I don't even run anymore, dude. Not miles. I
um,
mean, I do sprints and shit, but I don't do that.
I could jump on a treadmill right now cold and run a 5 minute mile on
That's fucking amazing. At your
on a
size,
treadmill.
that's serious.
Outside, I think I could go run a sub six if I had to right now, but I also did uh cardio already today, and I did legs on Monday, and I'm smoked. I need a day off. I need a couple days off.
You need, you need a week or two off, bro. But you know what? You ain't gonna do it. So
I'm
I know.
I got the recovery down. I work hard, but I don't do that long of workouts. I can do a leg day in like 7 or 8 sets, and it's brutal, but then I'm done. Uh, I work out hard, man, but uh, I think people exercise a lot more than they train. And that's okay if that's what your goal is to just get moving around and get your heart rate going. But I'm training. Uh, I don't think I'm at a too serious level. It's extremely difficult, and I'm improving and I'm getting stronger and faster. But if I got a coach, I think I could accomplish some pretty great things. But I'm having fun doing it myself right now.
Keep getting it, man. Keep doing that cardio for sure. Like that's what keep your heart healthy, man. I see a lot of guys just want to lift and just going around lifting with high blood pressure and no cardio. It's like, it'll wear on you when you get older. Is all it is. But I think the cardio is good for your general health. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. I do a lot of. I'm in the pool 3 days. Well, the pool's closed this week, but I'm in the pool 3 days a week. I swim, and that keeps the inflammation down from running. So I'll do train hard in the pool, keep the heart rate up, work on the cardio, and then I'll go do my running on the treadmill, short amount of running to keep the muscles going. So I'm building that way without breaking my hips and my knees down as much running for 5 miles. So I'll be in the pool. I can get the same kind of workout in without having to run and hurt as much as I do. Because man, if I go run 2-3 miles out on the road here, I feel like shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so goddamn heavy. It's so fucking painful.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the same. If I do those long runs now, I'll do long walks now. Um, and I do obviously heavy cardio, high intensity interval circuits, sprints, stuff. But dude, when I do the long runs, I don't know, every single time, dude, my hips are, everything's a little beat up from all the years, but yeah, it just goes from hips to back and everything just tightens up. You know what I mean? So
We spoke earlier, and you said you did a bunch of alternative mental health therapies. Have you optimized the actual physical health side of the therapies now that you're out and you can go see a hormone doctor, or you can and you brought up stem cells. Shout out to Project Recon, Travis Wilson
yeah,
and Anna Richardson over there. They're out of Texas. They just started up a new nonprofit. I'm starting to walk with that episode comes out in a couple days.
cool. Yeah, I hope I'm going to follow them, and yeah, I'm very interested in what they're doing. Basically, it's awesome.
Yeah, they're the first
Uh,
FDA approved stem cell treatment in the United States, and I'm sure that the doctors have data on how helpful it is. I take their word for it. It sounds very complicated, but I guess the stem cells go in and they fix your stuff and help you out. I'm very interested in it. for some mental health stuff that I've got going on. But have you have you got your hormones optimized, and are you looking at stem cells to do that more physical side of things, and in addition to the mental side of things?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, those things are connected. That's what I've definitely learned. It's not like some people want to put like mental health in some bucket way over there, and then like regular health's way over there. Like your body's and health is connected. And if you don't feel well, whether it's mental or physical, it's going to affect both. So you're right. I work out, dude, all the time. I have to be a little careful because I can overdo it. And I mean, you might think like, well, that's not a thing. Like, yeah, you can overdo it. I mean, especially depending on how many miles you put on your body. I've got some injuries. I've had 5 surgeries throughout my career. I've got some chronic inflammation going on. I've got some compressed discs that are real bad. I've decided I will not do spinal surgery on my spine. I've done it in all the joints and the soft tissues and stuff, but I refuse to get spinal surgery. So what am I doing about it? I like yoga. I'm no yoga master or anything. I do a very simple form of yoga just twice a week, and it's mobility. It's not like religious in nature or anything. And I really like that. I've started doing Pilates, dude. I know it probably doesn't sound as cool as lifting so much, but that it's felt very good on my body. All them years I was lifting heavy and running around in kit and slamming into the ground. I didn't realize like my body was a little disproportionate. Maybe I wasn't working all the right core things, or at least working it in a way where it was balanced, and it was causing, muscles to be tense in places, like I was always like an Olympic lifter, deadlifter. I worked out like an athlete and stuff. So I was strong enough always to do all the stuff we did. But what I kind of realized is I was very posterior driven, and over time that made like my back and everything get real tight, you know. Um, on top of that, I've recently started doing this peptide. I'll tell you the one I'm experimenting with. It's a combination of the GHK-Cu, TB500, and BPC 157. That seems to work better than any Motrin or anything that else I could do. I mean, inflammation wise is great. Even if it's like in my gut, like if I have like you ever just get an upset tummy or whatever, like, man, that shit seems to work great. So I use
Great,
that.
great, great, great. How? Like, what are you? What's the before and after? Because I know I haven't
Um,
jumped on the peptides at all. I just kind of drink water and eat a salt tablet still at this point. But what are you seeing the benefits of that doing?
well, I would say this, man, like what you're putting in your body, which I know you're doing that right, or you have some version of diet that I'm sure you're following with all this exercise you're doing. So
Cow. I eat a lot
that,
of cow.
that's the most important part, you know? Yeah. I mean, that's the most important part, right? That and your sleep and your hydration, and assume you're not, whatever, doing things that are hurting your body. That's most important. But if you're aging and you want to add something to that, I'm not a peptide like salesman or whatever, but I read enough about it, and I'm like, basically, it's supposed to help your body heal faster. It's supposed to reduce inflammation. It's supposed to help with gut health. These are all issues, joint health. These are all issues I've had. Um, the research, the jury's kind of out on this. There's even some thoughts that this combination might have some good things with mental health. Again, I can show some studies, but I don't know if like everyone would agree, right? And if you didn't see Bobby Kennedy, or whatever we're calling him, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., he's actually trying to push to make peptides more readily available and more part of everyday kind of society, because he believes in them, and he's the what is his actual title? Like Department of Health, like Secretary of Health, I guess. Is that right? But
Uh,
so in any case, it's not like
I'm not sure what it is,
it's
but
not
he's
weird
doing.
witch doctor shit. I mean, but as of right now, you still have to like go to these weird places, or you'd have to get like um what is it, like experimental trials. Like it says, not for research purposes, not for human consumption. So it'll probably be better if they get it fully legalized. It'll be more affordable and more available and more regulated. But to say all that, how does it help? You know, it's weird. I quit taking it for like 3 weeks and I didn't feel a huge difference. So it's like, does it work at all? Well, I do know that before I took it and then 6 weeks into taking it, I had a measurable difference in that regard, to knee pain, back pain, to a general level of tightness and inflammation that I seem to get sometimes. Um, I even feel like it might be helpful in mood regulation, basically. Um, I'll tell you what, I mean, creatine, dude. My buddy put me on a creatine like 6 months ago. I thought he was joking because when I was in high school, I used to go fucking mow yards to get creatine, dude. I wanted to be Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds. I was a baseball player. I was like, I'm going to go anything I could do to hustle and get a few bucks. I'm getting the creatine and the whey protein. And then if I can really bust my ass, I might even get the androstenedione. If you remember that shit, that was like, it was basically like borderline steroids, but they're like, Mark McGuire takes this. So I was trying to get that stuff, but I thought it was a joke. I'm like, creatine, what do you mean? Then I start reading all these, the creatine is the most studied supplement in human history, or I shouldn't say human history, but at least in this sort of like exercise market, I know that. Dude, they've used it in all kinds of weird things because it's such a safe compound, and they've found out it's got all kinds of mental health benefits. In fact, it does things that are very similar to like what nootropics and maybe even some things that are stimulants do insofar as, helping your cognitive health and recall. So I'll tell you, if I'm hungover, dude, I take like 20 grams of creatine. It seems to help even more. Like if I have brain fog, dude, 10 grams of creatine. I feel the difference on creatine. I took a scoop right before in fact, I got a scoop in this right here, bro. Yeah. I took a scoop right before we started this, just in case my brain went like, stop working for a second, So I believe in that now. I do feel a difference, but
I need to get my visual aids here. Yeah. Shameless plug.
Tell you what I
Other
like, bro,
episode,
is steak and eggs. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
our other episode sponsor, Alpha Elite Performance, Texas-based company, Green Beret owned. Use code LKO15 at checkout to save 15% on your pre-workout, your creatine, your amino acids, everything. Give them a shout, alphaeliteperformance.com.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to use that code too. Like I said, I'm using creatine, man. And I mean, for me, some people might think it's funny or something. Like I use THC, man. I do. I like a sativa edible before I work out or before I do something
Oh
kind
my
of
God,
physical.
really?
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, it's the best pre-workout in the world. Creatine in there with some good mineral salt in my water, and I just take a little edible before I go in there, dude. With the sativa specifically, I seem to get more of a body high. So when my muscles pump, it just feels that much better. I feel so much more focused. I don't know. It's great for me, dude. I don't feel as tense. Sometimes you be in the gym and you're a little too tense. Honestly, you're like, and you're like kind of like your traps are like firing when they're not supposed to be or something. Like it helps me kind of relax and just get into my sets and wherever I'm working on. So yeah, and then at night,
I mean, if that works for you, to me,
before
that sounds terrible. That sounds terrible to me. Oh, good for you though. As
yeah.
long as it works for you, man, that sounds scary to me.
What, doing marijuana and working out?
Yeah, that sounds frightening.
No, you got to go to any like D1 college, like football program right now. Them kids are all on edibles or vape pens in there working out, dude. Like
Really?
your favorite athletes right now. Oh yeah.
I'm not a naive at all. Everybody is on something, whether they're competing at any level from high school on up. Everybody's on something, and if you don't think they are, you're lying to yourself. But that sounds frightening to me. No, I'm good. No, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. Well, it's also to do with dosage, I suppose. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't get high out of your mind in there. And if you don't if you don't use it, don't decide to use it the first time and go in and lift. I'm not saying that. For me, it just doesn't really do whatever it would probably do to someone that doesn't use it like you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't have that effect on me. But I think I kind of answered the questions. I'm basically trying to not use any pills whatsoever. I mean, even ibuprofen, if I have to, I will, but I'm trying not to even use that. I don't want pills. I try to do it with food. If I go over and open my fridge right now, dude, I got whole fruits and vegetables and a bunch of fucking protein, like you said, dude. Ribeye steaks, eggs. I love mozzarella cheese. I love salmon. I eat fish. I eat sardines every day. I don't take fish oil pills. I just eat sardines every day and olive oil. I think that should keep you alive for an extra 20 years, man, honestly.
It'll do something to you, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I eat a lot of beef, man. Creatine. I take myself. I drink plenty of water. I have my creatine. I've got it pretty dialed in right now. I'm pretty addicted to my routine, and I hope I can get it to a point where I can keep doing it, and make it sustainable, and keep doing the show and things like that. So,
Are you
I'm
doing
having
just carnivore? You're not doing, not to interrupt you, but are you doing fruit or vegetables or rice or any shit or no?
95% of what I eat is beef, rice, and milk, and it's so pretty much every day I'll eat 2 to 3 pounds of beef, 2 cups of Thai rice, and then a third of a gallon of milk. And I come in around 300 grams of protein every day, 250 to 300 grams of protein a day, and that still brings me under calories. I don't overeat. I don't really gain weight that easily, and I don't lose weight that easily either. And just kind of stay jacked and cut all the time by just doing that. Um, so maybe
Yeah, yeah.
it's a good routine I've got myself in.
If it was just basically, I've done that before. I mean, not exactly, but yeah, I was eating pretty much all meat and protein and stuff. And, it was really, I got ripped, absolutely ripped. But I would say like 6 weeks into it, 8 weeks into it, I was like, oh, especially on nights where, I was out socially drinking or something. I'm like, I had to put something else in my stomach.
Oh,
But
alcohol
dude,
loves bread, man. You start drinking,
yeah,
and you're like,
yeah,
I need
I need
some
a
bread.
sandwich or something, man.
Yeah.
But dude, you get ripped that way. I mean, for me, it wasn't the total solution forever in my life, but I mean, I know if I got something coming up where I got to lose a little weight, just going like, pure, not necessarily carnivore, but kind of like it basically. I mean, pure protein will lean your ass out.
You come a long way in the last 20 years. Now you go from eating MREs out in the field and just doing whatever and eating whatever and drinking whatever. And now you're like, man, got my diet and my routine and everything. It's strange how the progression of things and the things that are important now that weren't important then.
People would assume that like athletes, like we have, this very regimented. It's like for most of those years, it was basically work out and work as hard as you could and eat whatever the fuck you could, you know, try to eat healthy, get your protein numbers if you can. But I mean, you didn't always get a choice, right? If the Filipinos are eating fish heads and rice, we're eating fish heads and rice tonight, like in some cases. So, or MREs. Yeah. But I hate to go live with, a partner for us and eat my MREs on the side or whatever. Like I'm going to hang out with them and eat. But
Oh gosh, yeah.
I used to have
MREs
the
are.
stomach of a billy goat. Now I do not, bro. I'm very careful about what I put in this thing because my belly gets upset really quick if I go eating some weird shit that I'm not used to anymore.
That's developed too. The lifestyle leads to that as well, and everything changes. We get older. I mean, you got to stay on top of it. What's your goal going forward with your fitness, though?
um, Funny because it's probably different than when it was even just 2 years ago or 5 years ago. But I want to get longevity out of my body, dude. That's very important to me now. I want to feel good. I want to look and feel good. It's like that's almost more important to me than some of the performance matrices that I would have used for, right? When you're in the military or you're lifting or you're doing CrossFit, there's always like you're trying to get this time or you're trying to get this weight. I have these goals. I finally hit a point that's like, if I don't necessarily achieve those, but I feel good and I keep moving and I look and feel good, I'm happy with that, dude. Really. I have to lift a little bit. I can't, I realize that I can't stop resistance training like entirely, but I had to slow down a little bit too, man, and everybody I've talked to that did, like let's say 15 plus years in this life and also simultaneously loved to, like, was addicted to working out. And I'm going to tell you right now, you are. And so am I, or was I for most of my life. 100% addicted. That was my mental health. That was my physical health. That was my solution to anything. If I didn't feel good, if I did whatever, it was go hit the gym and crush it until you don't feel pain anymore, you know? And I miss it. Not that I'm not working out, but like I kind of miss going that hard. But I've also just recently realized, like, I'm going to slow down a little and let my body kind of settle in, you know, a little bit like that. And that was just the solution I needed for me. But I don't think that's permanent either. You know, I think just honestly, I just haven't really lifted heavy in like 6 months. I haven't really lifted anything heavy in like 6 months. And this is like the first time in my life I've done that. And it is weird for me, dude. It's like I said, it was an addiction. I didn't realize it was such a part of my routine, just as it is yours and so many others. Like, how do you how do you live without it for a little bit? You know, that's been something I've kind of been discovering, man. You know,
It's the first thing that we cut out also, though, when our life starts tanking, is we're like, oh, that one thing that makes me feel good, I'm going to get rid of that so I can feel even worse. That's kind of shitty of us to do. And, well, we'll see. You'll get back into it and you'll be like, it's time to start
I'm
moving
good.
some weight again.
Yeah, totally. I've been walking, I've been stretching, I've been doing Pilates, and yoga, mobility stuff. And, I've been playing softball. And, I mean, I know like musical performance doesn't count in this context of like exercise, but I mean, there's some of these shows we've done 3 hours, dude. I'm like, you'd be surprised how many calories you're burning playing and singing and sweating for 3 hours. But, you know, you're right, dude. I'm going to start getting back into it and I'll start it helps keep me honest when I'm posting videos, dude. If you look the last time I was posting fitness videos, it's probably been about 6 months. And that was the last time I was really getting it. You'll know if I'm not posting, that's probably because I'm just kind of like doing Pilates and, playing softball and shit. I'm not like getting after it, but it's coming. I just can't do it all year constantly like I could, dude. I mean, I just can't. I don't know why. My body said it in a tone that you listen to, Nick. It said, slow the fuck down. You know?
Yeah.
It's if you want to enjoy this life for a long period, in general, slow down. I mean, I've been burning at both ends, dude, for 20 years. I mean, I've been working out hard for 30 plus years. I grew up in sports and martial arts and shit. And I went right into the Army and then did special forces stuff. And you don't think that on top of doing that, I was in the Thor gym fucking getting all of my anger out every night, in the weight room and stuff. Like I was doing that too. And I got a I would say pretty successful longevity, 20 years, GWAT. And, I'll just say I have my VA disabilities or whatever, my VA entitlements, but I'm getting around pretty good nonetheless. You know what I mean? Like better than it could be. That's for sure, man.
Yeah, it can always be worse.
Yeah, exactly. But so exercise and doing it right, in many ways, the kettlebells and just the stuff that keeps your core strong, keeps your spine from overflexing and shit, keeping your core strong, your legs. In our line of work, your legs have to be strong. No one really, I'm not gonna say no one cares, but I never gave a fuck about biceps or fucking traps or any of that. It's like, if your legs and hips are strong enough to carry all this shit and your cardio is good enough to keep up and, maneuver with us, I'm happy. I really don't care what you look like. Now I would lift arms because I like the aesthetics of arms and I like to be able to fucking pull myself up the side of a wall too. You know what I mean? But legs and core strength are obviously where you'd make your money, in a place like that. Heavy equipment, austere conditions, uneven terrain. And by the way, I always trained athletically, best I could. Like I would move, I would change direction. I grew up in football and baseball. I was always running and changing directions and, fucking jumping and landing and doing, things like that. And I noticed a lot of guys didn't, right? A lot of guys are like, hey, I'm going to go lift and then tomorrow I'm going to ruck, or I'm going to lift, bodybuilder lift, and then tomorrow or maybe I'm going to do CrossFit. But few people were just focusing on actual like training mechanics of take off, speed up, slow down, start, stop, change directions, do it in heavy ass body armor too, right? Like, I'm not saying you train that way, but you're going to need to do it in real world in heavy body armor. Like, you're probably going to want to train that proprioception and that athletic ability. Like, do you know how to like lower your hips and change directions and push off? Because if not, you're probably going to twist an ankle in kit, right? Especially in the middle of the night and uneven terrain, and step in a pothole and just fall down, But I mean, I think if you're training in a balanced way, you would step maybe in a pothole and kind of, oh shit, like brace yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, that I think will get you a lot of longevity too. Just staying like mobile, basically, because because if you fucking blow your hip out or your back or even a knee or your shoulder, I mean, you're just out of the game for a while, man. Like, you can't work out. Like, not if you want to heal. So if you fuck your spine up, if you blow your fucking cervical spine out on some weird movement, because you weren't ready for it, you're not going to be fucking training weightlifting for a long time,
That's the physical side of things. Now, how much effort are you putting into the music side of things now and training for that? Because when we had gone last time, you're like, oh, I want to try and do some more, a little bit more, and things like that. How is that? How much training and time where you've been able to dedicate towards that?
Dude, you wouldn't believe. Entirely different. I'm working with a Grammy-nominated vocal coach here in Austin. Shout out to Ronnie Hall of Black Box Studios. You can follow him on Instagram. My dear friend. We've written a couple songs together. He's also my vocal coach and just kind of a general good influence and mentor I have. And then Samir Durrani is my guitar coach. I've been guitar instructor, if you will. Also a friend of mine, great musician here in Austin. Working with him. We're doing live shows every week, sometimes multiple times a week. We're bringing in veteran singer and songwriters from, across the country. I mean, several different other states and all over Texas. And these things are taking off. That's 3 or 4 of us telling our stories as veterans that served in the military. I would consider, as this thing expands, opening that to like first responders and other folks. I would love that, but as of right now, it's veterans, and I'm surprised at how many veteran artists are great ones. I mean, you'll be absolutely blown away at some of the songs these people write and their performances. We're doing that. I said it earlier. I mean, we got October 23rd. We got December 26th. If you're in Austin area, please come down. If you are a veteran artist of some sort, please reach out to me or follow me and keep up with this thing. What else? I mean, dude, I'm writing new songs all the time.
You said you wanted to play a couple songs? Fuck yeah. That's a first. That's a case of beer. Fuck, now I owe a team room a case of beer. If you're in first group and you watched this far in the episode, first one to DM me, I'll Venmo you enough for a case of beer.
See how we sound. I honestly, dude, I always play standing up. I hate sitting down, but fuck it. And my voice is shot, but no excuses. We're going to do it, man. I told you I'm not going to miss today. Hey, so this is a song, man. It was inspired by Robbie Miller, a guy I went through the Q course with that got the Medal of Honor. You've probably heard of him. He was a hero, man. Everybody I talked to that was on that team said that he was a hero that day. And I just wanted to honor him with this. And, the hook is No Way to Die. And that's the name of the song. I think it's also pretty fitting. It's somewhat relatable, unfortunately. One thing we all do is die. And perhaps we can all relate to someone that we loved or cared about. And we could see that, that just wasn't no way to die. It goes like this. A night he gonna miss back home. Out fighting in a rich man's war, it ain't no. way to die. He didn't know what he was fighting for, but he knew he was white and poor, and that ain't no way to die. Learning what kind of man he should be, green eyes and sand in his teeth, it ain't no way to die. Finds himself out at night with a gun, kind of feels like the fighting is fun, it ain't no way to die. That ain't no way to die. Got a cold hard look now, think he's too far shook now, it ain't no. Well, he cries out in the middle of the night, like he's still in the middle of the fight. It ain't no way to die. Well, I wouldn't call him the toughest of men. Team him up with a couple of friends, there ain't no way he'll die. No. One night he was all alone, took a dozen before his own, and ain't no way to die. Robbie, it ain't no way to die. And in spite of his medals, mama's left unsettled. It ain't no. Never get to see her grandkids, tell them what their old man did. It ain't no way to die. No. Some say he was killed, some say he was healed, some said he's still stuck in them hills. But no, it ain't no way to die. Love y'all. Rest in peace, DePrato Liber.
That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Live, no.
I might release that. Like, see if I can make that into a reel. Let that go today for September 11th after we get off here. What a cool thing this is. Like, you didn't know me 6 months ago. I didn't know you, and then it's September 11th, and all of this shit happens, and all the bad shit that has happened, and so interesting how life works and how we meet people and things like that. It's wild. What a weird first 9 months of the year it's been, for me. It's crazy.
Your whole life's changing, bro. Yeah, so's mine.
It is.
This is spinning, and we're on it.
You got to work at it. Like, before that, I wasn't working. Before I went to North Carolina after the hurricane, I wasn't working at it. I was just kind of, I don't know, hanging out, being miserable. And then I felt like I was helpful. And then I felt like I was useful again. And now I just want to keep that going. And I don't think I want to be happy or anything. I just want to have purpose again. And that's awesome.
Me too.
I think that's even better than being happy. Like, the sad thing, I was happy when I was drinking, and that was very destructive in my life. So, man, that was awesome. I appreciate you playing that on there. That's cool. As I said, that's a first for lesser known operators. So I owe somebody a case of beer. One of the guys in first group, send me a message. I'll Venmo you enough for a case of beer. So how
That's
often
awesome.
are you playing now?
We're gonna record that too and release it soon. We got a lot of things going on, man. It's kind of like you said. I got to put in the work, and it's time for that now. It's like, okay, yeah, let's, and it takes money and it takes effort. It takes some time, and that's going to be coming out amongst the whole slew of others. Yeah, so I'm playing live. Well, at least every Sunday night here in downtown Austin. I'm 2 doors down from like the mothership, the Joe Rogan thing. We're at Shakespeare's. Awesome. Please come check us out. I also play other gigs around town. I advertise those, which are not as necessarily regular. And yeah, I mean, the truth is, Instagram is the easiest way. I know that I hate to say like follow me on Instagram, but that's like the best way I know to put out stuff to anyone that's interested in it. And a lot of people like you, man, like, they've reached out to me. I mean, you found me on the internet, right? Like, I didn't even know. I didn't really know about your podcast, I don't think, when you first reached out. And you're not the first or last one. I mean, it's great. Scotty Fraser, who I'm doing this, veteran songwriter showcase in October with, from Houston, he reached out to me on Instagram. We didn't know each other, and now we're friends and working together. So it's pretty cool.
It's a very useful tool. Social media is, if you can use it right. And but you got to work at it. You got to make it work. You can't dilly dally around with it. You have to make it do what you want it to do. And that sometimes isn't fun. Like when you're starting a new project, you have to make it work. And right now I'm working, I'm motivated to work, and I just want to get as much done as I can while I'm motivated. And then maybe when I'm not as motivated, then I pull things back. And it sounds like you're doing the same thing as well and trying to work towards that as well. You're muted.
Yeah, I can really relate to that, dude. Yeah, it's like, all right, yeah, gotta put, it's not they weren't putting a lot into it, but it's like, oh, we got to put it in a different way. Basically, right? You're gonna have to, just like you do in any job, but you're gonna have to streamline your efforts, realize what's important, what's not, realize where you're trying to basically maintain your heading of where you're trying to go in the first place. But yeah, I don't want to get lost in it, and I definitely want to share my music with the world. So
You got another song for us?
yeah, you down?
Fuck yeah, man. It's my show. I make all the decisions here.
Hate this chair, honestly, but fuck it. So hey, man, this one's a little. Hey, this one's a little out of genre. I don't like genre. Okay, I don't like the word genre for music. I don't listen to one genre of music, and I don't write one genre of music. But this one's a little different, and it'll be obvious. I just wrote this thing, man, and I want to preach a message of unity and strength, and that together we can rise above all of our hardships. I mean, that's how I felt in the military. I was not I don't think I'm a tough guy or courageous or any of that shit. But, when I went in with my team and we were trained and we knew each other and I had guys and gals on my left and right, I felt like I could do anything really, it's very empowering. But when we are fighting and divisive and there's widespread panic and violence and uncertainty, it becomes very hard to find those middle grounds. And so anyway, this song's about togetherness, unity, and rising above it together. Right? It's called Rise Above It. We all have our differences, but we are the same. Won't you come and witness it? Rise above the flame, because we got each other and his good name. So won't you get with it and rise above the pain? We can rise above this. Won't you rise above this? Won't you rise above it? Together we can rise above it all. Rise above it. Won't you rise above this? And rise above the flames, yeah. I tell you people now, we can get along, and we can work it out. We can right our wrongs, because we got each other and his good name. We can work it out. Together we can rise above and change. Won't you rise above this? Won't you rise above it? Heaven rise above this. Together we can rise above the flames. I said rise above it all. Rise above it all. Rise above it all. Rise above. We can rise above it all. Won't you rise above it all? Rise above. We can rise above it all. You know, together, despite our differences in appearance, differences in backgrounds, differences in locations and religions and everything, I think together we can rise above it. So I'm going to hit it one more time. Yeah, we can rise above this. Won't you rise above it? Won't you rise above this? Ooh, we can rise above it all. Rise above it all. Rise above it all, people. Together we can rise. Thank you. I kind of ad-libbed a little bit. Fuck it.
Oh, good.
Live performance. It's my song. I can put whatever words I want in there.
It is, yeah. It's fuck, man. Yeah, it's just you and me here. Fuck, man. That's cool. I'm just sitting here going, man, this is a cool thing. Just another first for the show, and that's man, the stuff that happens little things in your life that you're like, man, that was pretty cool. I appreciate you doing that. Just for me, I don't know if anybody else is going to enjoy it, but man, I just think that's so cool that you come on and you can just play guitar. You know, you can do whatever you want, as long as you work at it and you get the thing. So, I'm like a little kid. I'm like, no, that's fun. I have my own podcast.
Well, some of my favorite
show.
artists, I kind of discovered on Joe Rogan's, for instance, like Gary Clark Jr. And then later, the Oliver Anthony and a few others I've actually learned about on that program. So,
cool. And the one I told you about today, you got to go check that out after we're done recording here today. That guy blew me away, and I found him on Instagram, Stephen Wilson Jr. And now I'm hooked on his music. I think this stuff's all great. So, fuck, man. I don't have question. We went through the 5 questions the first time you were on. So for my returning guests, we only have one question, and it's The question is, what will you do with your pen of light, right? Pen being this new opportunity that you have moving forward. So what good will you do with this new opportunity you have moving forward?
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to bring a message of hope and encouragement. I want to do so through my music and through my stories. I want to do so in a positive way, in a way that promotes positivity and not furthers hatred. I would like to explain that I went through a life of hardship and even extreme violence, as an adult and a little bit as a child, too, unfortunately. But basically, as the song says, together we can get around this. Together we can do it. We have these times in our lives where we kind of just look up and wonder why, and sometimes the answers to our left and right. There's a lot of power in human beings being kind and patient with each other and working together a little bit, even though we disagree. There's also a lot of evil and unfortunate power that can be involved in the opposite of that, which is, let's say extreme violence towards somebody for sharing their beliefs or something. It's a long drawn answer to the bottom line up front is, through stories and through music and through art and through the lives of some of these, people, especially the veterans that I'm working with, because that's just the story I resonate with, right? Like the veteran story. I hope that we can, I don't want to be grandiose. I hope we can help people. I hope we can bring people together. I hope there's, like, it's not money and, hey, I want this much fame and I want to be able to save lives. And like, that's all true, but I mean, that's not the main purpose. That's not what I'm looking for. In fact, what we learned in the Green Berets is like, you organize your guerrillas. What do you go on first? Confidence target. Then you build from there. You don't send them right over to the enemy battalion and attack right away. They're not ready for something like that, so I'm on that path and I'm going there, and I do want to help people and bring people together. And, I know that there's a way we can do that where there involves an exchange of money so that we can build the show, right? And bring sponsors aboard and everything, and not have to lose any ethics or be worried about it, man. Like, I love to pay, $40, $50 to go see a show that I respect, but the show's got to be good and it's got to, resonate. Basically, people have to want to come. And so I'd like to get there. Not $40, $50. That was a dumb example. I just mean, I want to get to a point where, we're already doing good in Austin, Texas. I want to bring it around. And, if I'm going to pay people to travel and do it, like, yeah, we'll have to figure out, what is a very ethical, like, ticket price to do this where people want to pay it and see it, And so we're kind of just there with it right now. It's innocent and it's kind of fun in that way, Nick. Like, I don't have to put too much pressure on it, man. Right now, it can just be, let the music and the performance speak for itself, right? And let it get better as it goes. But
I love
that would be my answer. Fucking long answer probably, but
no, you're good. I love that. It's all what you're going to put into it and moving forward. That's the question for returning guests is what are you going to do moving forward with the opportunity you have, based off a Jordan Peterson quote from his first best-selling book. So, hey man, I think that's a great place to wrap up. Would you take us out on something? Give us a couple minutes and I'll say bye to everybody here and we'll wind this down.
yeah,
How's that sound? All right, man,
I'll
take
just
us
play some
out.
stuff in the background and you take over, bro. Okay.
All right. I appreciate you
Here
coming
we
on,
go.
brother. Bye, everybody.
Hey, I love you, buddy. I love all of you that listen to this too. You guys rock, especially Julianne. I'm in love. With all due respect, madam. All right, let's see what we got here. I think I remember this song. Fighting soldiers from the sky, fearless men who jump and die, men who mean just what they say, the brave men, the Green Beret. silver wings upon their chest. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only 3 win the Green Beret. Trained to live off nature's land, trained in combat, hand to hand. Men who fight both night and day, courage take from the Green Beret. Oh, put silver wings on their chest. These are men, America's best. 100 men will test today, but only me and Nick wear that Green Beret. Stir. Back at home, a young wife waits. Her Green Beret has met his fate. He has died for those oppressed, leaving her his last request. Silver wings on my son's chest, make him one of America's best. He'll be a man they'll test one day. Won't you have him win that Green Beret? Love y'all. It's been an absolute honor to be in this community.